Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about BYFC, Broadway Financial Corporation, Delaware. This company has had a lot of buzz today, around 170 million volume, which is around quite a lot compared to its usual volume, around 711 times more than its trading volume. So that is quite a bit. So this stock, on just a very quick view, looks like it's just been exploded up with gapped up. But what I want to look at here, and a lot of people are not going to look at, is what it did on the day before. So looking into the day before and omitting the last day, you can see there was a similar pattern that it was received on the day before. So that's a good sign, because if I looked at this, I would have just basically mentioned that it might be a bit unstable, that even though the averages look good, it still has a good support around 194. If you look into the 1 hour, I'll show you in a bit. And momentum is high. But what has happened here is that it has received an enormous amount of support. And what was before 7.17 million volume, which is still considerably higher than its normal volume, exploded to 100, almost magnitudes higher than the day before. And that's seen here. But one thing I want to mention here is this is becoming in more of a hype play. As you can see what's happening here around 154. Trading between 104 and 154. And then it exploded down to up to 232. And then today it exploded to 723. Now what you might see is, if this stock still continues on to be a hype play, what you might see on Monday is a massive spike and then a drop. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm only going to try to mention technical analysis based on the charts alone. And I'm going to just pinpoint a little bit of different aspects in it, just to kind of give you a view into what you might want to expect. And I'm also going to look into some trend lines later on in the video that is a bit helpful to see if the stock was to drop, what is the level that it might possibly lowest drop at. So taking a quick look, the average directional index is a little bit too high. I would say around 45 is the maximum optimum I would like it, but it's considerably just entering dangerous territory. The stock is surprisingly going to a point where it initiated as overbought, and then now it's considering to have already seen a pullback to an oversold. I mean, it's around 50% a pullback, which is quite significant. The momentum that it has been insanely strong since yesterday. And it has gone to 191, which I don't even think this stock has ever seen this much momentum. In terms of unbalanced volume, you've seen an enormous amount of increase into the unbalanced volume. So we might need to look into the intra trading first. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do the 1 month, 1 day, which shows the same information. So I'm going to go 1 month, 1 hour this time. And you get to see a little bit of the movement of this stock. Now, one thing to compare is the unbalanced volume at the end of the day happened to have received a lot of dumping compared to what usual is. So it's gone negative, which is more of a little bit of an alarming level, but it's also good because that means it's consolidating. Next things, you can see here the MACD has turned to negative and it crossed around here. Now, while that is bad, but it just means that the stock will probably slow down the descent rate from what it has received around 50%. It might slow down a little, but still it's in the negative territory. But it can also revert in the aftermarket, early pre-market tomorrow, and in the morning it might see a reversal during midday. Momentum, it seems that it has gone quite a negative aspect of momentum. However, once it sees a negative similar to this one here, it usually might possibly see an uptrend. So that's a good sign here, along with the unbalanced volume. The William %R momentum seems to have mimicked each other in the last day. And so the William %R shows an insanely oversold. So that is good. A good sign again. That's on the 1 hour scale. The average directional index is within the 25 to 45 that I like it in. So that's amazing. In terms of the averages during the 1 hour, we get to see that the 10 SMA is above the 30 MA, which is a good sign. This is the VWAP line, so it's not significant in the 1 hour since it really doesn't give any much information that you need. Now let's take a quick look into trend lines, the most important thing. I tried to look a little bit into the news. There's nothing much significant in terms of news. Now, first things first, I'm going to be looking at the moving averages. So that's the CN color right here highlighted with the purple in the middle. You can see on the last day, it has advanced way above the moving averages. And so technically, if you were to look at it from a technical analysis point of view, it's supposed to see a pullback, which it kind of did during the midday, and it went back to around 150-ish. And then today, it has seen a massive jump that really broke that moving average. So what I'm expecting here is, if I was to look into the day before, this is on the 12th. It has received a massive unbalanced loss. Volume was low. It was still within the moving average. Yesterday, I would still say it is still behaving properly. Today is just out the window. Going to trend lines. This is on a 1 month, 1 hour. You can get to see that this is the trend line here that that I would say the stock is following. And somewhere around here, let's move this a little. There we go. Somewhere in the trend line for this stock, it massively jumped. So yesterday it touched it, and then it massively jumped. So I would say tomorrow is probably going to be, tomorrow, Monday is probably going to see a maximum drop off around $2 on the share. Now going down to, that's just based on the trend line. As you can see, it has not broken it, and it has touched it a few times. So that's a good sign. Going to Fibonacci retracements. Let's try to see whether we can see 108. All right. Try to go to the 3 months, 1 day. All right. Try to draw another one here. Perfect. Do the 1 month, 1 hour, and try to take a look into it. All right. I'm considering not the lowest point, but the lowest support. So what I'm saying is around 273 looks like it might be a pivot point in this stock. However, I see here a support that has been tested twice. Sorry, resistance, and now which is support around 297. So if it dips below 297, I would say 295. That might be a little bit dangerous, as that's the current level of support. Now, the maximum I see the stock dropping is around 2. But since there's a lot of hype and support behind this stock, you might see a good day on Monday. However, be very skeptical. And if you're in the green, I would advise you to kind of sell as long as you're ahead. That's just my opinion. For me, myself, I wouldn't touch this stock where it has gone from $1 to 7. It's almost seen 700% within a few days. From yesterday, it's received at some point almost 200%. So that's, from my opinion, I would not touch a stock like this. But do your own DD. I've checked a bit on the news. I don't see much significance on the news other than the support that it's received because there's interest for black-owned businesses. But I don't see much more in terms of this, in terms of a business advancements or like, for instance, a change in the model for work that might affect the financials or the fundamentals of this stock. So it's more of a hype play. Trade smart, and thank you. If you have any questions, make sure to mention them in the comments below. Let me know what tickers you want me to DD next. I'm active on the weekends, and I do 2 videos a day. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment.